everybody, welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Mentality, the show where actors, filmmakers, content creators, critics, movie fans come and dissect their favorite films with us. I'm your host, Ben. Really appreciate you tuning in once again. Before we get started, please not only subscribe to us on iTunes, but leave us a rating and review. Doesn't have to be long, just a sentence or two. Takes you 30 seconds. It helps us out a ton, helps the show out a ton. We've been climbing those charts. 30 seconds. That's it. Oh man, one of these days after, 200 and almost 50 episodes, I'll be able to talk. I'll be able to talk on my podcast where all you do is talk. But I'm leaving that in. Greg Fitzsimmons taught me to just leave in your mess ups. Leave them in. It's real. And Dave loves it. Dave loves it when I do it. Dave doesn't join me today, but I think you'll enjoy this show a lot today. Had a blast talking with Aries. Might know him from his MadTv days or his stand-up specials. We talk about his career, including him being in Jerry Maguire. The movie he chose to break down was 2015's Black Mass, starring Johnny Depp. Very underrated film. We get into that and how movies he describes as man food. He can hear him clarify that some more in this episode. So enjoy my talk on Black Mass with the great, hilarious Aries Spears. You're from New York?
Yes.
But so you don't even identify that you're born in Chicago?
Born in Chicago. I was born in New York.
Man, so that's how bad Wikipedia is, how bad IMDb is. That's just, you can't trust the internet, I guess.
Not at all, man.
not at all. MadTv. I mean, obviously that's a huge part of your career. First of all, I have to ask: is there like rivalry between MadTv people and SNL people? Is that a thing?
I don't know that there's a rivalry between a toddler and his father when they're slapboxing. Listen, man, Saturday Night Live has always been the bully on the block, even though I think there was maybe a period in time where people thought we were better than them in terms of content. I think they kind of hit a little bit of a lull, like a patch where they weren't really at its strongest point, but that's to be expected from a show that's been around for 40 years. I mean,
right.
Maintain a high level of excellence with that much consistency. I mean, you got to hit a low every now and then. And plus, I just think that, in terms of a generation, I think we were the sketch show for the kids of the parents that watch SNL. Because I get a lot of people that come up to me at my shows and go, man, I grew up on you. I was a kid when I was watching MadTv. I was in high school or junior high, or I had to sneak away and watch, which of course makes me feel tremendously old. That the fact that I raised you, but that's a compliment too. So, again, I just think that when it was happening and when it was in its peak powers, demographically, I think MadTv, we were, a lot of people thought we were better than them. But still, how could you be better than something like that? I mean, it's a pop culture, television iconic show.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it was, around for, 40 some years now. And yeah, it's iconic. But yeah, like you said, people, kind of grew up on MadTv, and it's always been said about SNL, like wherever you were in high school, that's your favorite cast, whereas MadTv, it seems like it spans more than that. It seems like they were more consistent in with that. But like you said, I mean, everyone has their ups and downs in shows that last that long. So, but yeah, I mean, kudos to you for having that run. Now I see here. Tell me if Wikipedia is wrong again. You started stand up when you were 14.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, okay. We got one on the internet that was right today. So you started in 1989. That's actually, not to make you feel old again, that's the year I was born. What was that?
You said I started what when?
You started comedy when you were 14, which was around 1989. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, about 89, 90.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Shit. Do the math. I'm 46. So 46 to 14, 24, 34, 4, somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere. It's somewhere around there. So, I mean, how talk about that a little, like starting when you're 14, like how does that come about?
I was born in 75, so I was an 80s baby. So SNL was the guy, Eddie Murphy was the guy on SNL in the 80s, of course. So he was my biggest inspiration. And I just kind of heard through the grapevine that he started at 14. And he's from Long Island, New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from New York. We both have the same birthday. So I kind of just took all that as fuel to kind of get into going, if he did it, why can't I? So, yeah, Eddie was responsible for that.
Yeah, and you paid homage to him on MadTv a few times.
Got it.
No, but yeah, that's great to have the cojones to do that when you're 14 and just to go for it. Like you said, if they can do it, why can't I? I like that attitude for sure. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this when you landed Jerry Maguire, which was huge film back when it came out. Still in the pop culture after all these years. How'd you land that one? What was that like? What was that like when you received a call you were going to be in a movie with Tom Cruise?
It was cool. I had originally auditioned for Cuba Gooding's part.
Okay.
But, that was such a big part that the director, Cameron Crowe, really didn't think I was big enough name-wise, and I wasn't, to carry something like that, playing opposite Tom Cruise, even though Tom is one of the biggest, and at that time certainly was one of the biggest names in the business. You still need someone to bounce him off of. And Cuba obviously was the more established guy. But Cameron liked what I did so much in the audition, especially my improv, that he said, "Look, I'm not going to be able to give you the role of the brother, of Cuba, because it's just too big. But I will give you the role of the brother, which is a smaller role because I want you in this movie." So he put me in the movie and put all the improv that I did and gave it to Cuba.
Oh, man.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. I guess you got to take that to get in.
Right. I mean, so no writing credit? You didn't get any writing credit for that? No. Not so much. Oh man, yeah. That's cool though that you were good enough to do to say lines in the audition that Cameron Crowe it stuck with him for that role. So that's awesome. And yeah, to work with the great Cuba Gooding Jr. and then you had scenes with Regina King, who's blown up over the last few years. It's yeah, you've worked with some awesome people, it seems like. Now, speaking of huge people, we like to have guests on and have celebrities kind of break down a film with us to, just get their perspective on the art form a little bit and why they like a certain movie. And so, speaking of big stars, we're talking Johnny Depp's Black Mass that came out in 2015. Now, why'd you pick this film?
It's funny. Often on my podcast, when we talk about movies, we like to refer to movies as man food. Like an old school, like TV, Swanson TV dinner. You got your Salisbury steak, you got your mashed potatoes. Of course, you got the vegetable, you got the starch, and then you got the dessert that burns the hell out of your mouth because it never cools down.
Yeah.
But it's man food, and a good movie, action, mob, anything, explosions, fights, TNA. I mean, it's just man food, and mob movies to me is always one of the go-tos for man food. And I just was like, when you think about some of the best mob movies, of course, I think Goodfellas ranks as number one.
Right.
And then toss it all up from Casino to American Gangster to Donnie Brasco to New Jack City to Scarface. But I always thought Black Mass was one of those that was kind of underrated. And Johnny Depp, spooky job in terms of acting and the look.
Yeah.
I thought his performance was superb, and enough people talk about that movie.
I agree. Yeah, he is so menacing in this. Like, I don't know if it's the blue eyes they give him, like those. That was like
the whole look. I think whoever did his makeup should have won an award because it certainly was a depart. And but Johnny Depp's always had a reputation for making movies with characters that are kind of weird and out of the box. But this one was really autobiographical. I mean, it was based on a real guy. But again, like you said, the look. He was menacing. Of course, the one scene in particular that I really thought if there was an award-winning scene, it was the scene where he's eating steak with the guys. And the one dude, he asks him what the secret recipe is. And the guy starts off by telling him it's a family secret, but then gives it up. And Johnny's turn from, you said it was a family secret and then you gave it up. Boom, just like that. He goes, I'm just saying, but got me a stretch in Leavenworth. Just saying, I'll get you real fucking quick. And then that pause, that silence, which I read somewhere by Martin Scorsese. He talked about how silence builds tension. And he pointed to the scene from Goodfellas, of course, with Ray Liotta and Pesci. What am I, a clown? Am I here to amuse you? What do you mean? Funny how? And then just that drawn out silence between the question, funny how, and Ray Liotta's answer, it leaves you on the edge of your seat. So that turn from Johnny Depp of telling them getting you buried real fucking quick, silence, to the laugh. Look at his face. It's a fucking recipe. I could care. I don't give a shit. It showed me two things. One, he was menacing, and two, if he wanted to, he'd have made a pretty good Joker.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man. Oh yeah. Can you imagine him as Joker? Oh my God. Yeah. That's because there was always rumors of him maybe being Joker someday, him being the Riddler or something. I would love to see that. But yeah, that whole scene. Yeah, because I mean, you're totally buying it that this guy could just go off just like the Pesci scene in Goodfellas. Like this guy, you don't know how to take him. Even when he says he's joking, you're still kind of like, hey, yeah, totally. Like just because he's so like he just commands that attention from everybody, and they're just like shitting their pants.
There was a thing in terms of a critique. If there was one thing that I probably could have wanted more of, it would have been more of that violence from him. Because anytime he went menacing, anytime he went there, it was just fun to watch. So I maybe wish there had been a little bit more of that. I know originally we talked about, we were going to talk about American Gangster,
right?
Which Denzel hardly ever played. The only time Denzel's ever played a bad guy is twice. You know, of course, Alonzo in Training Day and
Yep.
Frank, American Gangster. And he's so fucking good, Denzel, that I'd love to see him do more of that. And I loved American Gangster, but to me, there wasn't enough. I want to see him rip shit up. I want to see him slap motherfuckers around. I want to see him gritty with it.
Yeah, because I mean, we get you get that one scene where he ends up shooting the guy right, point blank in the parking lot. We get that, but yeah, we don't really get anything else. Though we get that one scene where he like chokes the girl to death, which is more uncomfortable than anything. It's just like, oh my god, like this guy's just lost it.
Yeah, but that really was the only two parts.
Yeah.
I wish I would have seen a little bit more of that,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just see him go off, and we'd get more of that man food, like you called it. I might steal that. It's good stuff. But yeah, are you typically a Johnny Depp guy? I mean, this is definitely different from any. I mean, like you said, he does.
Not really, because he does really abstract.
Yeah.
And those movies I never really gravitated towards those movies. I mean, I liked, of course, Black Mass. Another one where he kind of was playing a regular guy going through shit was, I think it was called Nick of Time.
Oh, yeah, Nick of Time, yeah.
And those are the only two things I can recall where he was not playing, some weird character. Look, he's great at what he does.
Right.
The abstract work, he's great at what he does. I just prefer him a little bit more on the normal side.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it seems like after Gilbert Grape, he kind of went.
I just mentioned it. Donnie Brasco.
Oh yeah, Donnie Brasco. Yeah. He definitely another mob type movie or a mob movie. And yeah, I definitely wish he would go more into those types of roles, because obviously he's proven he can do it. And it's but yeah, I mean this film, it's like you said earlier, it's underrated for sure. Underrated performance from Johnny Depp. I just find it intriguing too that you have the FBI agent Joel Edgerton plays him. How he is involved in this movie, how he kind of uses Whitey Bulger to help him, but at the same time he starts helping out Whitey. It's like he gets involved then.
That was a solid performance too, and speaking of great performances by, well-respected actors, Kevin Bacon's phenomenal.
Yeah, I wish he was in it more, because he played that part very well.
Me and my podcast partner, we do this thing where we ask this question, because I think in the business, there are some guys who are clearly movie stars, but they're not great actors. But then there are guys who are phenomenal actors, but they're not movie stars. Then you have guys who are both. So we ask the question, actor or movie star? Like Stallone, Schwarzenegger, especially in the 80s and the 90s, those guys are movie stars. Like
absolutely.
Blockbuster, summer, action, kick-ass, shoot 'em up explosion. But, some could make the argument with Stallone, Copland a little bit, but and I know he catches a lot of but still, as Rocky, it's a great performance. But I think when you look at his body of work overall, Stallone is a movie star more than he is an actor. Schwarzenegger, a movie star. Keanu Reeves, a movie star. I mean, between the John Wicks, The Matrix, Speed.
Yep.
Great movies. That's the best actor.
Yeah.
The flip side, Gary Oldman. What's my man's name? Jonathan Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel, yeah.
Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman, Gary Sinise.
Oh, yes.
Great actors. But they ain't making blockbusters.
Exactly.
Guys who are both. Denzel is a movie star and a great actor. Pacino, De Niro, movie stars, great actors. So I'm asking the question: Kevin Bacon, movie star or great actor?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when he came out at the beginning, he was starting out as a movie star,
I don't
but
even know who he was though.
really,
Great actor, but movie stars open
yeah,
week. Tom Cruise, Will Smith, those guys star in their own movies and they open the movie.
I
Kevin Bacon is always part of a movie.
right.
A star that opens the weekend.
I mean, with Footloose. I mean, I I almost want to say there's also a category of heartthrob. I think he was kind of that for some girls back then, but he's a great actor.
Maybe because of one movie.
Right? Yeah.
Or in the whole span of his career, when has Brad Pitt not been a heartthrob?
Right. Exactly.
It's not considered a heartthrob.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it seems like, well, that's more of a vanity thing. So I don't know that has to be included.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if Pacino and De Niro are sex symbols, but again, their body of work, they lead the franchise. They're the face of the movie. They can open a weekend, and they're phenomenal actors.
Absolutely. What would you? I mean, I know you worked with him, or I don't know. Did you have any scenes with him? But Tom Cruise. It seems like lately he's a movie star, more than I think he's had great acting work. But where would you put Tom Cruise at?
That's tricky because with movies like Born on the 4th of July,
yeah.
Trying to think some more of his more serious roles.
I mean, Jerry Maguire.
Maguire.
Rain Man.
Chops like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he's also a fucking movie star.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think he definitely falls under the both. It's just lately he's just been doing those blockbusters, Mission Impossibles, the Jack Reachers, all those. But yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you have movie stars, you have great actors. Some are both. It's yeah. I like how you bring up Gary Oldman because he's one of those actors who are, is a phenomenal actor. And but yeah, like you said, he's not selling tickets. He's in those indie films that us movie buffs, us cinephiles, everything love. But yeah, not selling tickets, which is a great point. Johnny Depp, where does he fall?
I gotta say both because blockbusters, all the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's movie star shit. But a great actor, again, Black Mass, Nick of Time, Donnie Brasco. He can act too, though. So I think he's both. Yeah.
And then speaking of also great actors, what's his name? He's in this Black Mass. Jesse Plemons. He is great. He's
what character did he play?
He's at the very beginning when he's not letting the guys in the bar. He's the first one that's he's been having some great parts the last few years. He's not going to be a household name or anything, but he's going to be he's one of those where I can see winning, an Oscar someday. Because I think he's phenomenal.
What was my man's name? The one that died of a drug overdose. Was in Boogie Nights. Boom Man.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor, but was never a star.
Yep. Exactly. Man, we could go all day with this. This is it's because it's so interesting. Yeah, because you got the guys that can sell tickets, and then the guys who are just great actors, and then the guys who are both, like you said. But yeah, I mean, again, like you said, Black Mass, underrated, total something that I think, Johnny Depp. I mean, I think he might have got like a Golden Globe nomination, didn't get an Oscar nomination, but I mean, it's still just, an absolute phenomenal performance. And I just love the kind of descent into like the things that happen to him. He has his son dies, then his mom dies, and it just you can kind of see him going mad. I guess a lot of that wasn't true. Like he didn't actually. There were certain things, but you gotta dramatize it a little. It's a movie, everything's not going to be up to par with the truth, but we're there to be entertained for our man food, be fed with our man food. But yeah, I mean, I also love Corey Stoll, who was barely in this. He came in at the end. He was like he was the boss. He was like the one asking, like, why aren't we going after Whitey Bulger? Why is this taking so long? And that's after Joel Edgerton, has tipped off Whitey about a couple things, and two guys end up dead because of that. And it's just like that whole part is so interesting to me that, this Joel Edgerton he just wants to bring down the north side of Boston because, Whitey's on the south side and he's getting benefits from Whitey. He's getting presents. He's got like a nice watch, and he's that one guy, I don't know his real name, but he played when they were in the initial meeting as the guy who grew up with Whitey, was explaining to Kevin Bacon why they should use him as an informant. And there was the one guy with the dark hair and the dark mustache. Adam Scott. Yeah.
Adam Scott worked with him on a pilot done by Aaron Spelling that was called Crosstown Traffic, which was basically like a Mod Squad.
Okay.
He played the main killer in that pilot. Guy's phenomenal, man.
Yeah. Wow. Him as a killer. Interesting. Yeah. Because he's predominantly he does comedy, but yeah, I would like to see him as a killer. that would be very interesting. So obviously, the pilot didn't get picked up, unfortunately. Obviously.
No.
Yeah.
My life was totally different if it did.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you still got success. Something I meant to ask you earlier. I mean, the pandemic, obviously. How did that affect your gigs and stuff? I mean, obviously it affected it, but were you still going strong? Did it help your material? How did?
Like everything else, it was touch and go. I mean, I have addressed the elephant in the room to some degree. Joking wise in regards to it. It's been a blessing and a curse because, prior to it, I was on the road so heavily, nonstop, that the grind physically wears on you. So I needed the break, but then the break was too long. So I needed to get back to work. Yeah. So it's been kind of a blessing and a curse.
Were you one of those did you ever do like the virtual stand-ups or whatever? Did you ever do any of those?
I am an old school purist.
I love it.
I'm from that Richard Pryor, George Carlin era, and I would never do anything that homosexual. Joking, relax, woke people.
Yeah, relax, everyone.
Yeah, there's no way I would ever do stand-up without an audience. That's like sex without a woman. I won't do it.
Yeah.
I know that some dudes beat off and mazel talk to you, but once you've had pussy, anything less than is less than. And
I respect that because I was thinking that, like, I mean, part of doing this is the rush you get by being on a stage, getting that audience interaction and everything like that. It's just like, how could that, do you really
when you tell a joke? The laughs you get back is part of your timing.
Yeah.
So have no audience and you just talking to yourself essentially is what you're doing. It throws your timing off.
Right.
But you time when to respond, how to respond based on the level of laughter and where it is, what to say next, what to improvise. So without all that, it's just a different game.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was the same with MadTv, with the having a live audience and everything. I mean, that's
always have a live audience. We alternate weeks. 1 week we'd have 4 weeks out of a month. 2 weeks we do live, 2 weeks we didn't. And the 2 weeks that we didn't was because if we did sketches with heavy makeup, where people had to be in the chair for 3-4 hours and certain physicalities. You can't do that in front of a live audience.
Right.
So certain things you have to pre-tape, which I like. I know SNL was live every week.
Right.
But I think when you can pre-tape some things, it adds a different layer because you got a little bit more time to creatively craft what you want to do, and you can get certain things off that you might not be able to get off if you always have to be live.
So because MadTv, it didn't air live, right?
No.
Yeah, it was just in front of a live audience. Would you guys? Yeah. I mean, would you guys ever redo a sketch, or it was just what happened in front of the live audience is what happened?
Oh no! That's the beauty of not being live. Is that when you fuck up, you can redo it on the spot.
Yeah. Did you ever audition for SNL?
No. At the time I was doing Mad, I know somebody from SNL had reached out to my people, but I think Lauren Michaels at that time had a rule that if you were in any other sketch show, you couldn't come to SNL. But then somewhere along the way, he dropped that because I know Jeff Richards was on both, and Taram Killam was also on both. They both had MadTv and then went over to SNL.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, you might be able to count Keenan in that. Keenan Thompson, he did like Nickelodeon sketch. I wonder if that counts. Probably not. I won't get you started on Keenan, I guess. But anyway, I got some rapid fire questions for you. But before that, is there anything else about Black Mass that we didn't mention that you wanted to say?
Not really. I mean, it's a phenomenal movie. If I could, can I shout out my podcast real quick?
Oh yeah. We're gonna do all that, my friend.
Here's Steinberg, the Jew and the Jerk. It's available on all streaming platforms. I tell people, look, man, if you are tired of wokeness, if you are anti-political correctness, then my podcast is for you. We are straight, uncut Bolivian cocaine. We are alcohol during the Prohibition era. People want to drink, man. People want to get loaded. They want to have a good time. They want to say what they want to say and be who they want to be, as long as it's not malicious or with evil or hurtful intent. I think we should be allowed to be who we want to be. And that's what this podcast is. We don't pull no punches. We don't hold back. It's available on all streaming platforms: Google Play, Podbean, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or you could just hit me up in my Instagram under Aries Spears in my DMs, and I'll send you the links.
There you go. Which one's the Jew?
Steinberg.
Okay, I wasn't sure, so thank you for that. I mean, speaking of wokeness, I mean, to me, it seems like the woke people are louder. Just they seem louder. I think there's less woke people than there is woke people, if that makes sense. That didn't make any sense, did it? I think just because of social media, it gets amplified. Mm-hmm. And I think it's almost cool to be woke, where I think real people's feelings are, let's not be offended by everything, but it's the cool thing to do right now. I mean, does that make any sense, or am I just talking about my ass here?
I think people are wanting to be, inherently be good people.
Yeah.
And make the world a better place. And that's all well and noble. But let's be careful about how we go about this, because, there's a reason for these outlets called comedy, radio, performance, sports. And these things allow you to escape reality for a certain amount of time so that you can let loose. And again, the key part to me, as long as you're not hurting anyone, denying anybody any rights, treating anybody unequally, you have a right to feel and voice how you want to. I'm actually trying to write a bit right now about that, because I think there's a big difference between having a moment where we all have human slip-ups versus a lifestyle.
Right.
If what you do in terms of Jews will not replace us, if that's a lifestyle for you, that's a problem.
Right.
But making jokes or what you say in the privacy of your own home or around your immediate circle, if it might not be the most politically correct thing, that's your right to do. And that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person as long as you don't practice a lifestyle of certain beliefs or physically and hurt people. We all say foul shit.
Right.
This is what we do.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a great point because I mean, it's you could make a mistake, you can say something that you shouldn't have said, or do something that you shouldn't have done, but it's about how you choose to live your life from that moment. How you choose.
You're a guy and you're walking down the street and you see two dudes holding hands. If you yell at the top of your lungs for everybody to hear, "Oh, look at these faggots," that's a problem. But if you see two dudes and they're violently tongue kissing, and you, not too loud, but more internally go, "Ugh," you're not a bad person. It's a natural gut reaction.
Right.
Something you ain't comfortable with.
Right.
So, I'm just saying.
There's a line. There is a line, but there's also, there's a time and place for everything. Don't be malicious, but just, be a good person and don't get so offended all the time.
Right.
I think that's the bottom line. Real quick, do you have about 2 minutes for rapid fire questions? There's like 6 of them. You ready for this, my man?
Mm-hmm.
What is your go-to movie snack?
Oh, shit. I don't have a movie snack. I have a Jesus and the 12 Apostles meal. I don't do snacks. I do meals.
All right. If you go to, what about a movie theater? Like if you go to a movie theater, you can't bring a whole meal unless you're bringing like a bag of McDonald's.
Well, they got these studio movie grills now.
That's true.
Kick your feet up, order a fucking meal like you're at Bennigan's.
That's true.
Listen, like I said, man food, slice of pizza, hot wings, anything with bread is the bookends. Man. One of my favorite, I'm a New Yorker, and it's hard to get New York.
No, you're from Chicago.
Nah. And a lot of places out here call themselves New York pizza, which is bullshit because they don't taste nothing like New York pizza. But there's one place called Mulberry's here in Encino. And I mean, the guy is from New York, the owner, and he flies the dough in from New York. And it's phenomenal. So that's one of my favorites. Another place called Hot Wings. Make great hot wings. So I'm one of those.
Okay. All right. There you go. Go-to movie snack is a plethora of things for Aries Spears.
I use dirty magazine pictures as napkins.
I bet you do. Guilty pleasure movie or TV show?
Oh, Sopranos.
Really? It's a guilty pleasure?
Let me tell you something. I have some of my top favorite TV shows. Power, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Snowfall. Now I'm on Queen of the South, Godfather in Harlem. Bar none. I might watch those shows again if I've already seen it, but I will watch. I watch Sopranos. It's like a holiday for me. I watch the whole thing. How could you not love The Sopranos?
But that's not guilty pleasure. That's
When you say guilty, what do you mean?
I don't know, something that is people wouldn't expect that you watch or you find pleasure in, but it's not necessarily something that would be in your demographic or like a chick flick.
Sex in the City.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a proud owner of the Pink Velvet all 6 seasons DVD set. That's one of my favorite fucking shows. I can watch 4 bitches all day.
Oh, that's going to be a clip. What's your favorite genre, musical or horror?
You said what?
What genre, musical or horror?
Well, I'm heterosexual, so horror.
What do you like better, The Pest or Jerry Maguire?
Oh, Jerry Maguire, even though The Pest was more fun to shoot.
I'm sure. Kubrick, Scorsese, or Spielberg?
I don't know much about what is it? Kubrick?
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but between Scorsese and Spielberg, there's a great documentary, HBO documentary. It's almost 3 hours long about Spielberg. I love watching about the creation and the beginning of great geniuses and how they got to where they got to. Because no doubt, Spielberg is one of the greatest movie geniuses of all time. And just hearing his struggles on how he got from point A to B, and how the studios and the movie heads and the people that sign the checks should just get the fuck out of the way and sign the check and stop trying to make the gumbo. You're not a cook. You're not a chef. Leave the cooking to the chefs. There's a great documentary on Showtime called De Palma about Brian De Palma.
Oh, yes.
I fucking love it. Because I don't want to say anti, because all of them were close. Francis Ford Coppola, Scorsese, Lucas, Spielberg, and De Palma. They were tight. But as much as the industry loves Spielberg, because he had all his movies were very family-oriented, family-themed, safe. Brian De Palma was the opposite of that. And was to this day, one of my favorite movies, Casualties of War.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
badass in that. Oh.
Yeah. Another underrated. Underappreciated, definitely.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And I don't know, De Palma, I don't know if it was in that documentary, but he actually, it was his idea for the opening crawl in Star Wars. George Lucas showed him a raw copy of it, and he was like, I don't know what's going on. And then he said, like, can you have something at the beginning that kind of explains it? Like, so.
This is how much I respect him. Because, Scarface, when it originally came out, wasn't a big hit. It did okay. But then later, it became the cultural, what's that word? When something is
zeitgeist or
no. When something is like not like a God damn it.
I don't have a thesaurus on me.
Like a cult.
Oh yeah, cult classic. Yeah.
Because of the rap community and the hip hop community and blacks and Hispanics, and he said that at one point, whoever made the movie said to him, "Would you mind, because it's so popular in the hip hop world, creating a hip hop soundtrack for it?" He said, absolutely not, because he wasn't a fan of hip hop. So even though hip hop resurrected it and made it what it is, the cultural fucking cult iconic movie that it is, he stood his ground. He said, no, absolutely not.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. A couple more here. Movie that inspires you.
I gotta say the Rockies, man.
Yeah, great
Rockies,
choice.
When he's willing to put it all away for Adrian, and he goes in Rocky. This is like what I call a dick hard moment. In Rocky 2, when she wakes up out of the coma, and he goes, if you don't want me mixing it up with Tree, we'll figure out some other kind of way, And she goes, here's what I want you to do. Come here. Yeah. Come here. Yeah. Win. What are we waiting for? Let's take him. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that is man food.
Yeah.
Every man needs to hear when it's him versus the world.
My pants just got tighter when you said that all. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
It's that actually your impressions lead me to what's your favorite impression you did on MadTv?
I never did it on MadTv. Will Sasso did, but I did it later only because I couldn't get it earlier. Tony Soprano.
Oh,
you know what's going on with Uncle June and Johnny Shea? It's very bad for business. The only thing I care about is my kids. I know what age. I talk to Chris, Chill, Paulie, the fucking flying cabron, bro.
Oh, wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting it to be good. I was just expecting you to like it, but wow. That was great. Are you excited for the new series? This or movie actually, I think it is, right? Well, of course you are.
And camera down 5 inches, you'd see me with an erection.
Your pants got tighter as well.
It busted through the jeans like it was the Hulk.
Oh, I can't wait. And yeah, it's so awesome that it's his actual son that's playing him.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. And then last one, what's the first movie you think of when you think your favorite movie of the 21st century?
21st. Listen, I dropped out of school and got my GED. So help me here. 21st century
is 2000 to now.
2000 to now. My favorite movie? That's hard.
First one that comes to mind.
What year was Training Day made?
Oh, I think that was 2000. So I think, or 2001. So yeah, I think you're safe there.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. 2001 Training Day. And I just watched your Denzel skit you did on MadTv right before the show. So it was before he won the Oscar for Training Day. So there you go. That's how long Aries Spears has been around, folks. Not to make him feel old, but he's a legend. He's a legend. But man, it's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you finally, tolerating my annoyance of bugging you to get you on the show. It's
same way, man. This Hollywood game is weird, man. I tell you, one day I was leaving an audition in Studio City, and I'm in my truck. And I heard he was a fan of MadTv because I know he used her in the movie Ted, Alex Bornstein.
Yeah.
So she told us he was a fan of the show. So one day I'm driving and I'm at a stoplight, and this SUV pulls up next to me, and the windows are tinted where I can't see who's inside, but I can see enough to see that the driver is motioning me to pull my window down. So I pull my window down, and it's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
And he goes, yo, you a funny motherfucker, yo. You a funny motherfucker. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to hold my shit together. And I'm like, yo, man, I love your work too, and blah, blah, blah. He said, man, keep doing what you do. You are a funny motherfucker. And
wow.
I was like, damn.
That has to make your whole career right there. That's awesome. Yeah. Great story. All right. Well, yeah, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Definitely get people to check out your podcasts and your comedy, all that, anything. You're on YouTube everywhere. There's clips of you everywhere. So if people...
Here's the Instagram, blue check mark. Like I said, hit me in my DMs. I'll send you the links to the podcast. Brother, thank you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming on.
You got it, brother.
There you have it, folks. Another episode in the books, another guest in the books. Aries Spears, what a pleasure talking with him. Hope to have him on again sometime, and hope you guys continue to tune in. Hey, remember when I said to subscribe to us on iTunes? Do it, but not only do that, but leave us a rating and review. Again, only takes a couple seconds. See, I still can't talk. I was doing that on purpose. It's comedy. I'm trying out comedy. But yeah, again, it does help the show out a lot if you just leave us a review. Helps us climb those charts. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Black Mass, what you think of Black Mass. Tweet us at BlockbusterCast and Instagram at Blockbuster Mentality. That's where you'll get updates when new episodes come out. And that's where we interact with you guys, especially on Twitter. All right, folks. Well, that is it for me. For Aries, I'm Ben. And as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys at the movies.